Hi everyone. This session is going to focus on our hips, and I think it's a lovely grounding way to end your day. It can be lovely if you just had a really stressful day and you just want to let go. So some slower and longer holds here than perhaps we're usually practicing in our sessions. There'll be no vinyasas, maybe that's a relief. And yeah, just a really nice way to come to end your day. So let's make a start in our child's pose. We're going to work into opening up the hip in all different directions here. So just starting to get that nice opening. See the inner part of our hips here as we settle everything down. Allow your body to melt down to the ground. Start to bring your awareness to your breath. Inhaling through your nose, perhaps sighing out of your mouth a couple of times. Breathing in through your nose, sighing out of your mouth. Really connecting into your body and your breath. And our hips tend to be places that we store a lot of emotion, a lot of tension. So perhaps bringing to mind here that something that you feel like you want to release. And that's emotional, mental, or just physical. And with each exhale, feeling yourself starting to let go. And then let's start to press into our hands, start to lift our hips, come to our downward facing dog. Always nice to get a bit of movement here, so let's start pedaling through the legs. And the more you allow your head to soften and hang, just give it up to gravity, the more you can allow the body and the nervous system to start to relax. And just notice here where you're holding tension. If it's in any places like your jaw, your throat, your belly, you see if you can release with each exhale. Breathing in here as you press your hands gently forward. You draw your hips up to the sky. And if you have straight legs, really thinking about firming up your thighs. On the next inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky. And then start to draw the foot forward, step it down between the hands. We take ourselves into our low lunge. Reaching your arms up to the sky. And then from here, keep pressing down into that front foot. And perhaps we start to reach our arms back a touch, just to open up through the front of the body. But keep those glutes on the left super active so you get that beautiful opening up through the front of the hip. Beautiful. And then bringing your hands down to the ground, left hand down. And then we're going to start to reach that right arm forward as you reach back and then start to draw the foot back towards the hand. Maybe you don't quite reach. There's still a lot of strengthening and beautiful opening to be done here. If you can take hold of the foot, you could always use a strap here and then start to use that little bit of extra help with the hand and the foot to get a little bit more opening down the front left side of your body. So feeling it, that beautiful opening down the front side of your left hip, and then that beautiful opening across into the right shoulder. Beautiful, everyone. And then slowly releasing, Bringing that hand back to frame the foot. Let's take ourselves back into our downward facing dog for a full breath in. A full breath out. Left leg reaches up, reaches back. Start to draw the foot forward, traveling forward to take your low lunge position to this side. Reaching those arms up as you press the front foot firmly into the floor. And then start to think about really lengthening through the lower back as you lift up, keeping that beautiful connection and engagement to the right glutes to allow you to start to open up on the right side of your hips. There's no tension in your face. Keep things nice and soft. And then draw that right hand down. And then start to reach the left arm forward and back. Reaching now for the right foot as it travels towards the bottom. Hold here. Really feel the hamstring starting to fire up before you then make this into more of a passive stretch by taking hold of the foot or grabbing a strap. Once again, we're just thinking here, even though we're feeling all this beautiful deep stretching, can we make sure that we're not bringing tension in to any other places in our body? So this should feel easeful. Use your exhales as a means of releasing tension rather than bringing tension in. And then start to draw the hand and the foot down. And then from here, come back to your downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. And reaching your right leg up to the sky. Stepping now the right foot to the outside of your right hand for lizard pose. So I like to bring my left leg down to the ground, but before we do, let's all just have a little bit of a rock forward and back. With your hands on the floor, you're just rocking forward and back, feeling into your hips, getting a little bit of movement here. And then you could stay with your back leg lifted, or if you want it to be a bit more passive, bring that leg down. Either staying here and perhaps you turn out your foot. Very much depends on what feels more comfortable for your hips. Feel like you're lifting up through the crown of your head. Stay here. This is where you switch on your glutes in the back. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you start to sneak down onto your upper arm bones or your forearms. And then everyone, whichever variation you're taking, close your eyes. Allow your attention to be taken inwards. If there's any pain in the back knee, then of course prop it up. If you're on a hard floor, you may need to just prop up your knee. Beautiful, everyone. And then you'll feel, got your arms down, start to come back into your hands. And then we're going to shuffle in to take a little pigeon here. So shuffle that right shin bone in. Get into your pigeon posture. You can always take your reclined pigeon if this doesn't feel right for your knee. Prop up your bottom if you need to. And then let's all find some length through our spine. Lift up through the crown of your head and soften your hips down. Then start to walk your hands forward. You can bring your body over a prop, or you can allow it to come straight down to the ground. Sending your breath to anywhere that feels tight. Where can you let go? And letting go isn't always an easy task, I know. But the more we start to chip away, exhale by exhale, easier it becomes over time. And then let's start to walk our hands back towards our body. I'm going to take a little twisted pigeon here. So you're going to start to bring your hands into prayer and then twist away from your bent leg. So it's just as though you're taking your regular little twists in chair. You've got your hands, your palms pressing together at the front of your chest, in the middle of your chest, and you're just taking this little twist. As you do so, allow that right hip bone to draw down, allow the left shoulder gently to draw away from your ears, and give your neck a little bit of a wiggle out, making sure you're not holding any tension here in your neck. And then with each exhale, remembering we're just allowing the hips to soften down, and then come back to center. Hands return to the ground, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Taking that full breath in, full breath out. Left leg lifts up to the sky. We step the left foot forward to outside of the left hand, and we come to our little lizard pose, and we find some movement here. Just rocking forward and back, giving our body what it needs. And then you could keep that back leg lifted to make it more active, or you could draw the leg down. I choose to untuck my toes here. It's more comfortable for my foot. Do whatever feels comfortable for you. Maybe we stay here. Even if we are going to bring our forearms down, can we have those couple of breaths of elevation? So even though the hips are sinking down gently, there's that feeling of the crown of the head lifting up. So the heart is lifted. Notice how that changes the posture than if you come into it with your head down. And then perhaps bring the forearms down. We've still got that beautiful sense of lift, but without any tension. How does it feel on this side compared to the other? Bringing a soft smile to your face. Amazing the difference this can make. Signaling to your nervous system that you're okay. And then from here, come back onto your hands. Start to thread that shin into your pigeon position. Remembering you take whatever variation you need here. And then let's all engage our glutes as we come into that nice upward spine position. And then let's start to fold forward. And for some of us, this pose is like magic, and for others, it can be a real struggle. And sometimes it depends on what we've been doing. So no comparison here. And worrying about whether you should be in a certain position or not. Just listen to your body. Feeling grateful for whatever feedback you're getting today. Starting to walk your hands back towards your body. Bringing your hands into prayer. If we're going to take this little pigeon rotation, you don't have to, of course. And then we're going to turn away from our bent leg. Let's go into this little pigeon twist here. So you're just allowing the torso to turn to the side wall. Your hips are staying in exactly the same position, but we're just getting a little bit more of an opening into our hips. If this feels too much, then just remain in your pigeon. Never any pain in your knees, so please make any adjustments if anything feels painful. And then come on out. And then from here, everyone, you're going to bring that leg round. We're going to come into a double pigeon or ankle to knee position. We're going to have this left leg on the ground, the knee on the ground. And then you're just going to pick up this right foot and cross it over the knee. So you're in this little bent leg position. Now this might be enough for a lot of us, or perhaps you want to come into leaning back if that feels too much for you. Keep this foot flexed. In fact, keep both feet flexed. I think that helps give you a little bit more feedback. And then maybe we stay here. Or maybe we start to fold over, walking our hands forward. And again, prop up your head and your body with anything you need. It can feel really nice to have a bolster here or some cushions, pillows. I like to bring my hands into prayer just to allow my forehead to descend. Just keeping that, particularly that top ankle flexed, just to allow you to get that little bit deeper. It also just prevents the knee from talking. Softening everything down. And there's a direct correlation between the tightness of our jaw and the tightness of our pelvis. So we have this connective fascia. So every part of our body is connected. But you may notice here, the more you can just allow any tension in your jaw to relax, the more you may find your hips start to release. Beautiful, everyone. Then let's come on up. Let's take it to the other side. So now, right leg under, left leg over. When you're ready, let's flex through that top ankle in particular, perhaps flexing that bottom ankle just to start with, just to feel that beautiful engagement through both of your hips. And then maybe traveling the body forward. If that feels too much, then go to wherever feels comfortable for you. Lovely place to start lengthening your breath. Maybe the hands creep forward more towards the end as your sit bones draw back. Slowly walking the hands back up towards your body. And then let's open our legs out wide. Coming into this wide straddle position. And for some of us, it's a real challenge even to stay like this without really rounding through our backs. So if you know that's you, then stay here. You may want to prop your bottom up so your pelvis is slightly tilted forwards, may feel more comfortable. But perhaps you want to start walking your hands forward. I just like to take hold of my toes here and start to draw my body forward, but really feel like you're lifting your chest up rather than just rounding down. And I like to keep my feet really active here. So if you can, toes are pointing up, legs are active as you draw your heels into the ground. So getting a beautiful inner thigh stretch here. And perhaps you come all the way down with your body. We're all different in terms of our anatomy. Often it's not flexibility, often it's our bones that allow us to move in certain ways. So no right or wrong here. We're just taking this beautiful inner thigh, inner part of the hips stretch here. Closing your eyes. Maybe bringing that bolster or something under your head. And then let's come on up. And then from here, let's take our cow face. So draw your left leg into a bent position. And then draw the right leg into a bent position. So your knees are stacked on top. In fact, I will turn and face you. Perhaps it's easier to see me like this. So this is meant to look like a cow face, apparently. I guess these are the ears. So your knees are stacked on top. So after we've been doing all this beautiful hip opening work, this is a really lovely, intense hip stretch for most of us. And then we have our right leg on top. Let's alternate through the top of our body. So we'll have our left arm, draw it up, draw it back. Now press that left hand into your back and then reach the right arm around the back and press the back of the hand into the back. Perhaps you can take hold of the hands. But if that feels like too much of a stretch, just keep the hands pressing into the back and then open those elbows in opposite directions without jutting forward with your chin. So my elbow isn't pushing my head forward. I'm still keeping my head nice and tall. stay here, flexing through your feet, or perhaps you want to start to bring your body forward, a little bit more of an intense stretch. Keep your hips drawing back. Slowly coming all the way back up. And then releasing the arms. Unraveling the legs. Let's stack the legs in the opposite way. So the opposite leg underneath. As the left leg comes over the top. And you might need to just shuffle your hips a bit, just to try and stack your knees. But just do it as much as you can. And then actually, the more you have your feet away from your body, probably more of an opening you'll get, more you'll feel it down the outer edges of your hips. But again, we're all different. And then from here, let's bring our right hand back to the base of the neck now, lifting up through that elbow. And then grabbing hold of the hands. Again, it really depends on your anatomy. Maybe you have long arms like me, and maybe it's easier to take these binds. But for some of us, we've got shorter arms. So just work with your anatomy. And then maybe we stay here, or maybe we start to bring our body forward and down, resting the body down on the thighs. Slowing your breath down. Feeling those elbows moving in opposite directions. Starting to bring yourself back up. Releasing through the arms. And then here we're going to close our practice with a little seated meditation. So you could bring your legs into a nice easy pose, so just cross-legged. You could lift one leg up to come to your half lotus position, where one leg onto just the front of your hip. Or after all this hip work, you may want to try to come to your full lotus pose. But again, just work with your hips, work with how they're feeling today. And then we're going to rest our hands down on our thighs, either palms touching the legs or hands resting in each other, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Let's take 3 breaths in together. We're going to breathe in through our nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Breathing in slowly through your nose, filling your belly. Exhale out of your mouth. One more time. And then you're going to connect down, feel yourself connecting down through your seat, into the ground, through your legs. Just allowing all the points of contact with the ground to soften. Softening through your belly. Relaxing your shoulders and jaw. And starting to breathe in and out of your nose if you're not doing so already. Feeling the breath traveling all the way down to your belly with each inhale, filling up. As you exhale, softening down, releasing. And then letting go of any need to control your breath. You're just going to follow your breath, keeping a nice gentle focus on each inhale and each exhale. Anytime you feel like your focus is drifting, just keep returning to your breath. This is where I leave you. Please stay here for as long as you like. Namaste.